G'day, you absolute bloody legend. Thank you for stopping by.
We are Bo, Maddie and Luna, chasing our dreams of travelling Australia. We've learnt that time waits for no one.
So come with us as we spin a few yarns and explore our amazing backyard. Alrighty guys, so what are we doing? A Q&A. 6 months on the road. Can you believe it? Time has bloody flown.
How has it been 6 months already?
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like yesterday we took off. We're loving the adventure, loving the experience, and we haven't done a Q&A at all. So we want to give to you guys, and we're trying to think of some questions that you might want to hear. Stick around. Let's get into it. We got some big ones, and we're even going to talk money. We'll probably leave that until the end because we are a pain in the bum. Also, just a quick note please, we're right near a crocodile farm, right, and we're doing this hike at the moment, so behind us, if you see a croc start to come up at all, just let us know. Alright, so just...
It might be too late, but just let us know.
We couldn't see any, we feel pretty safe, but just let us know in case, alright? Alright, thank you. Let's get into it.
Alright, so the first question is, who are we?
Well, I'm Bo.
And I'm Maddie.
I'm 30, just turned 30 this year. I worked in sales, a little bit of management and production, so sort of warehousing and things like that. Got a bit over the 9 to 5, thought there had to be more to life than just working. So yeah, that's really me. That's all I did. I was in the corporate bullshit and absolutely hated it. Hated being told how to live, what to do, get up at this time, leave at this time. My analogy, right, I came up with this while I was working, was I felt like we're cows. You know, like you get told when to go to work, you sit there bumper to bumper. You know how cows get in line, go to get milked, sitting there bumper to bumper. You get milked, so we plug ourselves in. I sat there and got plugged into the computer for 8 hours. They milked me. I then get told I can go home, have some time with the family, as the cows do, get let out, sit in my paddock, be me for a little while, and then the next morning get up and do it all over again. I just thought there was more to life. That's me.
And I'm 28. I've got an admin background and kind of jumped all over the place, and yeah, that's me. The next question with what is chasing dreams?
What is chasing dreams? We came up with the name when we first started, of us chasing our dreams to get to this goal, to travel.
When we first decided that, look, we need to get out of this mundane 9 to 5. Let's chase this dream of travelling Australia.
Yep. The biggest nail in the coffin for us, I guess you'd say, was I worked for a company that let me have 3 months off, right? They said you can have leave without pay, you do you. And I was like, yes, I've made it finally. Told Maddie, her company told her she can have 2 weeks off
at a
max.
Time. No more.
Because they needed her, yada yada. And I just went, hang on a second, why do we keep getting told? So we've given it a crack. We're getting out there and just adventuring, exploring, and who knows what opportunities come. It took us 2 and a bit years to probably save up to where we sort of wanted to be, get the set up right, and things like that. But very, very happy. We had that goal in place, took our time, and then just went for it. The day we actually quit, in the first sort of month you don't have your paycheck come in, let me tell you, it's scary. It's scary. So that's the reason that we try and do free camping and things like that as much as we can, because we're on a very tight budget.
Yes.
And we very excited for the future. Who knows what's around the corner.
And inspiring others to chase their dreams too. If we can help one person like on their way to do what they want to do,
I'd probably bloody cry if somebody said to us, and we actually did, someone did say to us, we helped inspire them, and I'm a very emotional person. And it's very touching, like to think that we had that influence on somebody to think differently or whatever was, That's cool. Dream as bloody big as you can, live your life, that's stopped.
Another question that we could probably lead on to from that is, how do we make money? The answer to that really is...
We don't make money. We live off our savings. We've created some product and we are super grateful for the people that buy our merchandise and invest in us and want to see us progress. Look, I'm not saying you have to do that, please, by any means. We really appreciate it, don't get me wrong, but yeah, there's better things you can spend your money on. Times are tough at the moment, we get that, and we just want to see other people get to where they want to go in life, and that's priceless for us. But yeah, that's a big way of how we do it, is selling our products. We don't really push it that often because of we just, you know, we want you to spend your money in your way, and we hope that's adventure, and maybe that's fuel to get out there on the weekend and go and do a hike with your family and create bloody memories, because that's the best thing. So we live off our savings. We have had some opportunities to do some work with other brands and things like that. I'll be 100% honest, we've turned down a fair few now. We've said no. They just didn't fit the bill. I'm not going to say I love a brand this year and then next year hopefully try and work with the brand that I actually wanted to. So in the short term it's going to hurt us because we don't have money coming in. But I couldn't, I'm not going to tell you that a brand's good unless it's good, unless I like it. And I want to test it before I say that I like it. I don't want to be told that I get it and I've got to tell you it's the best thing, buy it today. That's not for me. And us personally, we want to be around here forever, and we want you guys to have trust in us that if we say something's good, it's going to be good. It's going to stand the test of time. Other than that, we haven't really had any other opportunities in any way. We've met some great people, worked with some brands that we get some products from and things like that, but never any monetary sort of thing or anything.
No, not yet.
But definitely we're open to it. We're super excited. We want to continue this lifestyle. We want to continue this dream, and hopefully this is us forever on the road. Like, we do love it. It's such a passion. It's such a heartwarming thing. Is there anything you want to add? I went on a roll there. I did pretty good.
You did.
Hey, real quick, sorry. We got a bit embarrassed because there was people walking. We're going to now go to another location and continue with it more, so stick around as we try and get into the nitty gritty for you. Next location now. Shazam, baby! We're here at Cape Tribulation. No, we're not. No. We're at the Bloomfield track. I don't know if you can see our view. There's like a beach back there. She's a little bit windy. We've got gorgeous mountains. And we thought, what better place to answer a few more questions. What's it going to be?
Would you recommend travelling Australia to others? In my opinion, 100%.
If it's something you enjoy and love, getting out there, camping, exploring this beautiful country, absolutely, right? It's not for everybody. It is not. I was very naive going into this. I thought everybody would want to do it, everybody would love it. But there's people out there who have gone home and said no. Look, it comes down to personal preference. Whether it is for you or not is totally up to you. And whether you don't want to do it, that is bloody cool. Again, it's your life. Live it the way you want. But if you're into this sort of thing and it's something that you're like, should we do it, should we not? Do it. Do it.
Don't waste time, just do it.
You can make money on the road. There's so many jobs. There's so many opportunities. The people you meet, it's just incredible. You won't regret it. Definitely get into it and do it, I reckon. Put a plan in place of going to do it. It took us 2 to 2.5 years to get on the road initially, to save up what we wanted, to set up our setup the way we wanted it and things like that. And it means going without, right? But once you get to this position, people tell you you're bloody lucky, this and that. Crock of, all right, it's not luck. You put it in place, you do the things, and you make that decision to go do it, right? But we don't have jobs. We don't have a paycheck that's coming in weekly. That's a big, nerve-wracking thing to do. Put a plan in place, put a budget in place, and go after it. Budgeting, it's up to you. We'll tell you a bit more about our budget a bit later and discuss that, but it's up to you. You can do it on the cheap. You can do it with all the experiences in the world. I just want to see people on the tracks with us.
Yeah. Another question that we get asked a lot is, what is the fuel what is the fuel consumption? Fucking, I can't with you right now.
What's the fuel consumption on the Troopy? The fuel consumption's 21 to 22 litres per 100. Is that high? I don't think so. I think it's not too bad. I think it's about in that range. That's pretty good. We are towing a big van. It's 20 bloody foot. She's a house on wheels. We've got the boat. the motor on the van, the trailer and things like that. So it does add up a bit. And you've got to think, we're definitely not aerodynamic. We're not a sports car or anything.
No, with the boat and everything. But...
And it also depends on your winds. Man, up here is windy. I didn't realise that FNQ, Far North Queensland, is bloody windy. I didn't realise. So our fuel consumption goes up a little bit, but it sits around that level, whether it's got wind or not.
Yeah.
What a view. We're probably going to have to call it. We're probably only going to be able to do 2 and get out of here because it's getting late. We've got cars coming past and the wind's picked up. We might do it in the caravan, I reckon. Oh, did you see that cocky just go by? Did you see him? I seen him in the reflection of the window. We might do it in the caravan so we can get this done and answer these hot questions. Brought to you by Madeline
and Bo.
Hot question. By Madeline and Bo. Hot questions brought to you by Madeline and Bo. Travelling Australia with their dog. Life on the road. I got nervous because somebody just came around the corner. Let's go. We have been trying to do this now for 2 weeks.
It's always been windy or raining or whatever. So we're like, stuff it. It's happening in the van.
Hopefully we can finish this off for you and get this out ASAP.
Ready?
Ready, player one.
Let's get it. Alright, so the next question on the list is, what do you think of Starlink?
I like it. I still have the exact same negatives as I did when we first brought it. One, it's 24 volt, 240 volt, my apologies. So you have to run it through the inverter.
Mm-hmm. It's big.
It's big, but 6 months on the road, 2 places that it didn't work. We've now been told of a new way to try and do it to face it up, which we sort of did get to trial, but didn't because we don't know what happened at the last place we're at. And it did work. We were able to stream the NRL game amongst trees.
Yeah.
So really happy about that. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
It is very expensive.
It's kind of like couldn't say 100% yes if you're travelling Australia, grab Starlink. It's kind of on like a needs basis. Yep. We do social media and we need access to talk to you guys, to upload videos, to...
Only because we are terrible. This video is literally coming out this Thursday. It's Monday. We're filming it.
We need it.
We need to have it edited and uploaded, which is probably going to happen Thursday morning. Every post we do on Instagram and all that stuff, we do at the time it's posted. We very rarely have them scheduled. We are terrible.
We're terrible at planning.
And that's our own fault.
We need that internet no matter where we are. But yeah, if you're just cruising along and you've got nowhere to be and nothing that you need the internet for, I personally would say don't waste the money.
It is this current time right now, $174 a month to have it, plus the hardware, whatever that is. Look at it. I can't keep up with it.
Sometimes they're on special, sometimes they're not.
Think about the other things. So if you're thinking about taking a satellite phone, can this be that? I don't really know. Like, at the end of the day, we do have signal now pretty much wherever we go. So, yeah. I didn't realise how much of Australia still didn't have signal. That has surprised me, to be honest.
Like, we've gone weeks at a time where there's been nothing. Especially up through the centre of the NT. Like, nothing. Not a single blip of signal. But we still had it because we had Starlink, so...
But one of those things, you still have to run the cord out, still has to have a cord that goes to the dish and whatever. But we've sort of figured it out. We've just drilled a hole through the caravan floor, put a boat bung on it so we can do it up and things like that so dust isn't going to come in. Ask more questions about that if you want to know more about it.
Yeah, we can show you what we mean.
We're just chucking on the roof. But yeah, I would recommend it if you wanted to stay in touch.
Yeah.
If you're happy to be off-grid and live without technology for a bit,
don't worry
save the money. You imagine $174 on an adventure.
Yeah.
Whatever that
it definitely adds up.
$170 doesn't really get you much these days. I'm a bit shocked at how much things cost. But anyway, that's time for another story.
The next question is the boat.
I'll be honest, I don't think I would travel with it again. It's definitely nice, and I do appreciate having it for those times that you go out and you just spend a week. They are absolutely priceless. They truly are. But at the same time, we've used it 3 times in 6 months. And that's only because wind.
So windy.
We haven't stayed long enough to really get out and do it. I can't catch fish. Hope you didn't hear that. It's, yeah, one of those things. I don't think we'll do it again. So next time around, we won't have the boat. Oh, never say never. Never say never. Who knows? But I would honestly, if anybody asked me, unless you're a mad kingfisher person who's going to get out and really use it at every opportunity, like you do you in that regard. But for me personally, I don't think I'll take it again. I would save the weight and go down a different option.
But that's the thing as well, like it's not just the weight of the physical boat. You've also got the motor. You've got all the gear and
No idea.
shit that goes along with it.
Yeah, that does add up.
It all adds up, especially like you've got an anchor. Like they're not light. But yeah, all those, it all adds up very quickly. And when weight's like a commodity, it's, yeah. Sometimes it just, yeah, the negatives don't really outweigh those positives, in my opinion.
Yeah, one of those things. But I'm glad we got it. It's good.
Yeah.
It is good. Who knows? We might even get out further down, get on the Great Barrier Reef.
We might change our mind.
Stop it. We might actually.
We might. The next question is, what do we think of our caravan?
It's big.
It's huge.
It's a unit on wheels.
Yeah.
It's a 1-bedroom
It's
apartment.
way too much room for us and Luna. We don't need this much room.
No.
It's lovely, don't get me wrong.
Really thinking about it, it's just not for us. It's a bit big. We would prefer it to be a bit smaller. There's been quite a number of tracks that I've looked at and gone, wouldn't mind heading down there to see what's there.
Yeah.
I just can't. We used to have a 12-foot hybrid, and that might be on the smaller side. It might be a bit too small. I really reckon that 15-foot that you don't have to pop out the back of one of those hybrids would be really, really nice.
Perfect, yeah.
We don't really have the budget to do that sort of thing, but that's fine. It is what it is. So I think that's where I would personally be heading, just so I could still reverse out of a situation, have a little bit better of a turning circle. We used to actually be able to fit, when we had the 12-foot, in a 2-park car park.
A double car park.
So that was perfect. Like you just park up in Woolies and head on in. Now you have to sort of look for the RV parking and things like that. It's just a bit too much space, and we're finding that we're actually living a little bit too much more inside because you've got those comforts where I want to be outside a bit more. And yes, that is our own fault and things like that. I get that, but if we had a real nice cooking station outside, it could be better. I would always have one inside though.
Oh yeah, because that was like the main thing with the 12-foot is the only option was outside. So if it was raining or it was windy, you couldn't get the cooker to load. Not load. You couldn't get to...
It was like, it'd do the old dial-up.
But you couldn't get the cooker to start. So it was like, well, what do you do? There was no option to bring it inside. So I think, yeah, definitely have cooking inside. But yeah, I think having that option to be outside would be a lot better as well.
But yeah, it's we're all different. If I could give you any advice, like we're in a semi-off-road. People think we're off-road caravan all the time. We're not.
You just need clearance.
Give a bit of clearance. Our drawbar lets us down. I've mentioned it multiple times. You'll see I've been hung up on a few dips and things like that. So that has let us down. I thought that going into it, but I thought I'd give it a try, see how we went. But just having that clearance, you're going to be laughing. You're going to get into most spots. So you don't need that full off-road. And I'll be honest when it comes to it, right? So many people that you see have these fancy vans on YouTube and stuff like that. You don't need it.
No.
You really don't. The amount of people that are actually travelling with a fancy setup is not many. So think about what you need. Think about what you require and go from there. We might do another video a little bit more in depth of what I would personally want to travel Australia from a van. Just so you can get an idea. We like to be off grid a lot, so there is some things that you definitely need to tick the boxes for to have that. So let us know, is that something you want to know a little bit more in depth, and we'll go into it. But she's big. She's a big old van.
She's big. But she works, so that's the main thing. It gets us around Australia, so we love it.
Comfortable. It's comfortable.
Yes, it is very comfortable, don't get us wrong.
Dooley.
Do we have a time frame for travel?
No.
No end date. Hopefully.
That's not because we're rich. We'll get into the budget later and go a little bit more in depth with that. But no, we don't, and we really, truly, like every day, our thought process is how do we make this work to sustain this and to be able to stay on the road longer, because we truly do love this. We appreciate it every single day. We pinch ourselves every single day. To think that we can actually have a lifestyle like this is just incredible. And yeah, I just hope we can inspire people to potentially get out there and give it a crack themselves, or just provide some entertainment, and we can continue to do this because I would truly love it. Mm-hmm. And I think the best way for that to happen is to work with some brands. That's our big goal.
Yeah.
And who knows? You know, that's a dream. You know, that's a dream.
Yeah.
And you might write to us and say, mate, that's a crazy dream. We've been told it all before, so we're going for it. We're here. We're giving it our best crack. 6 months in, we're still not getting paid, but you know, we're putting our best foot forward. Yeah. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, I think what we will do is stop and work. There's that many opportunities. I really don't want to go back to a house. I don't want to go back to a really 9 to 5 sitting in traffic sort of job. Yeah, we want to make it work, and we want to continue this life for as long as we can. I do love it. I don't know how to explain that, how you feel. Yeah,
no, there's just something about, like, your biggest decision in a day being, where do we go next?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a very... Don't get me wrong, it's not easy, and it has its days where you're like, oh, fuck me.
Mainly when you clean the toilet.
Yeah.
No, but definitely not. Like, it might be sitting up in the rain. It could be something's gone wrong. Like today we got a screw in the tyre and you got to fix it. But don't let those things get to you. It's the tiniest little thing that can just wreck your day when it is so beautiful. Yeah. It's like we're in places that are super windy and it was raining and it was like, oh my God, we can't go and do that waterfall. Can you believe what we're complaining about? Stop it.
Yeah.
So don't let those things get you down. If you're on a set time frame, I can appreciate it letting you get you down. But yeah, we truly do love it. I couldn't think of anything else in the world that I'd rather do.
So the next question is, what made us start YouTube?
Ooh, YouTube.
To be honest, to begin with, it was just for us. We travelled for, I think it was like 8 months in 2021. And like, we've got photos and everything, and that's great. But we just look back on it and we wish we could be more in the moment with a video. The video seems just, it transports you back to that place so much more. So we originally did start it just for us, but it's kind of expanded as well already to a point where it's, I don't know, like being able to inspire other people to not only chase their dreams as well, but give people that opportunity to see Australia through our eyes as well.
Absolutely. It was so, as Maddie said, we had the Instagram and stuff, and we so we did that trip, and then Maddie wanted to go FIFO, so we stopped and she went and did FIFO for a bit, and it was just, like, looking back, these memories would pop up, and I'm like, oh, what else happened on that day that we didn't capture, or what was my excitement like? Straight away I'm just thinking back to Exmouth as my favourite place. And it's like, what was my excitement like when I caught that fish on the boat? What was my adrenaline and excitement like when we were literally sitting in our little tinny and within eye's view, don't get me wrong, like way off in the distance, a lot of them, 16 whales.
Just jumping around
and we're just sitting there like, you can't even capture that and that feeling and the I don't know what I would have come up with at the time, but you know what I mean? It's one of those things I can't wait to look back at these videos, and we already look back at them, and it's like, wow. One, how much we've grown.
Mm-hmm.
Two, just those places. Like, I am shocking for where we go. Half of the time, we rock up to a place, and in the video I'm like, babe, where are we again? And she'll quickly say it for the video. I truly, truly do forget. I'm not putting that on. It's not like one of my things now that's like, oh, I better keep that up. No. I just forget.
Does not know.
We could be having a yarn to other campers, and they're like, oh, so where have you come from? And I'll say, oh, we did this, and this. Maddie looks at me, you want to say the good ones as well? Or I'm like, oh, shit, we did this and this. Like, she would reel them off. I'm like, wow, they were great places too. And I just forget. I'm shocking. So to have this, to see it through our eyes, to look back at is just a beautiful thing. And I absolutely love it. I love seeing it again. And it makes us laugh watching these videos, which is terrible. Like, Maddie will be editing the video and she's just cacking away. And I sit there, she thinks it's so funny that I find myself so funny. Every week she pretty much says to me, like, I can't believe you find yourself so funny. And then the most humbling thing is the fact that you want to watch it so we can inspire you or whatever, or you actually resonate with us, is just such a beautiful thing, and it's the best feeling in the world. It really is. And when people comment and say that we gave them a laugh or it made their day, or they've been able to add that location to their bucket list or whatever that may be, is just really, really beautiful. And the other thing, you just, you know, in life, you sort of forget that there's people not fortunate enough to do it. They'll never, ever be able to. And I, not for 1 second, thought about that. And appreciate those people so much, and I'm so glad that we can bring them joy. They can see these things, and I hope we do it justice. To be honest, that's my biggest thing now, is I hope we can do it justice for you, and I hope we're entertaining enough that you get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Some of those messages, hey, when people like write to us, I think I get a piece of glass in my eye sometimes. It is. It's so.
Yeah. It can be quite emotional as well.
I'm a bit of a softie.
Moving on to the next one is, what are some apps that we use on the road?
What would be the biggest app we use daily?
WikiCamps, without fail.
WikiCamps is like our Bible. They did an update like a month ago, and I'm pretty sure the Earth stopped spinning for whatever time frame it was.
Not just for us though, for a lot of people.
Especially if you didn't plan. We were lucky at the time when it happened because we had sat put.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter about that little glitch. Beautiful app. It's got locations, points of interest. It's got your toilets, your dump points, and things.
Your camps, whether
Where to
they're
fill up
free,
water.
paid, donation.
Yeah.
It's got everything under the sun.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Really, really good app. Definitely like our Bible. We would be 100% lost without it. We couldn't not recommend it to anybody.
No.
Like,
We
take
just,
it.
Yeah. And like, it's because it's got the offline function, so when you do have data or signal or Wi-Fi or whatever, you can download that location or that area and then view it when you are in the middle of nowhere and you've got no signal. You can be like, okay, we're still this far away from this place, but that's roughly where we want to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next thing would be a fuel app.
Yes.
The fuel app is perfect, right? You just go in and you can see the prices of the petrol stations around, and then down the bottom on the little bar it will say when it was updated last for that price. We've found that to be super helpful. I don't know how it works, but that's how you clock our Ks as well for fuel
so there's
consumption.
a logbook section as well, and like you can put in, from memory, it's like how many litres it was, the odometer and stuff like that. Anyway, it'll be on the screen, and then it'll actually tell you as well how many litres per 100 you've done or whatever.
That's a really handy one. And then a massive one
Mm.
for your maps to get around Australia.
Just Google Maps. They've got an offline function as well. It is a little bit tedious because you kind of have to download section by section, but man, is it worth it.
That's just a couple of apps that we pretty much would use every single day on the road.
And then the Google one and the
Really
Fuel
good.
one, they're both free apps. WikiCamps is a one-off payment. I can't remember what it is because it was
I think
so
it's
long ago.
$7.99, so like $8.
$7-8, and it's just one-off, and then that.
When you think a book to buy is 70, might be even more, 80, $90, I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
Alright, the next one is our budget.
What we do, we have our savings. I try to be a tight ass with certain things. What we did previously, before even moving into the caravan, is exactly what we do now. We just don't have a payment coming in. So now, what we do is we have our savings, and then we pay ourselves weekly. We have a bills account, and we have our everyday spendings account. The bills account doesn't really change. That's your subscriptions, maintenance on the car, rego on the car, insurance,
the
Starlink. And what we do there, they don't change. So that automatically just goes over into that account. How do we come up with maintenance? Good question. We just come up with a figure. We just go, we think we'll do this many Ks, that's how much it's, that's how many services we'll have to do. And then we'll then do a rough estimate as to what that is, and then we sort of overdo it anyway into that account, and then that's just, it's worked well. To be honest with that one, we started off with $1,000 in it, so we left $1,000 there because you can't predict, or like, you know, your rego, you can't just change to a certain time when you want it to happen, so we just needed money in there as a little buffer to start with, and then it will just build up and come out. That's worked really well. Our everyday spendings is everyday spendings. That's your caravan parks, your food,
food and groceries.
Groceries,
fuel,
eating out, activities, just everyday stuff. Luna's food, Luna's expenditure, and that is working well. So we try and live within that budget. So it fluctuates big time. We've started doing something on Instagram and all that stuff where we're actually posting our weekly budget now for people to actually see it. But as you'll see, is that will fluctuate so much. So one of the videos we did, I'm just going to pull a figure out. The hat, $300 for the week. But that's because the week before we stocked up at a Woolworths to have 3 weeks worth of food to be off grid because we knew there was going to be nowhere. So then what would happen with that, I think our budget's...
I think it's about it's just over 600.
600 in spendings a week. So with that 300, we then gained $300 in our spendings now. So we're now sort of saving in our spendings account, which means we can spend more next week, or we could save to do an activity and things like that. We've always sort of lived like that for a long time now, sort of ingrained in us, so it's working really well. To be honest, I quite love it. I love the challenge. It might mean that rather than staying at caravan parks, we end up on a couple of gravel pits just to save that extra... Well, we're finding out it's not that bloody cheap, so
not
$60, $70.
But yeah, so you kind of get to the point where it's, if you know you've got something coming up, there's experience coming up that you know you want to do, you've got to factor that into that budget. You're not going to pull from the savings. It's still got to come from that spendings account. So you've got to factor that in, that, okay, there's this expense coming up next week, say, I'm going to free camp more this week. Or not drive as far this week, so that we've got money still to cover that.
It works really, really well for us. We know how many weeks we've got left on the road till we run out of money. We know that the bills are sort of covered. We're not worrying about it. And we can't have that luxury of going, stuff it. Let's just eat here tonight, eat there tomorrow, eat there the next day. It's just one of those things that we have to be budget conscious. We're surprised that a lot more people haven't thought about it. We've told a lot of people on the road about it, and they've thought it is a great idea. Whether they do it or not, totally up to you. It's just a different way of thinking. And then again, your budget is your decision. Everybody is out there doing something different, and I could not... If you were spending $5,000 a week doing the lap of Australia, that is totally up to you. I'm not here to judge you or anything like that. We do it quite cheaply. Is that the best way to do it? I don't know. We're not doing fancy things like going on a helicopter ride and stuff like that I'd love to do, don't get me wrong. But, so... You know, everybody's different. Everybody does different things. So you do you. Work out a budget that's right for you. Add in your alcohol and stuff like that. You just come up with a rough figure, and then you can still tweak it. Again, it's your budget.
Yeah.
Like, tweak it.
Let us know if you want us to go more in depth about it as well. We could do a video on how we broke it down and everything like that if you want to see something like that. I don't know, but
yeah, obviously there's miscellaneous stuff that comes into it, but we should have those buffers and we should be right. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. As Maddie said, reach out to us. We're pretty much an open book, so just come to us with whatever. We don't mind.
The final question: how do we find travelling with the dog? Should I go get Lenny?
Up to you. Nah, yeah. So it's hot, so she doesn't want to sit with us. You might be able to hear her panting in the background, or she might get up to have a drink and eat, and you'll know that she's with us.
But travelling Australia with a dog, how do we find it?
It's difficult. It does have its challenges, for
Definitely
sure.
got its challenges.
We are very fortunate that my old man's never travelled Australia. He wanted to come along for the experience, so we're quite fortunate, and we do have him if we wanted to go and do something that she can't come to. Other than that, we've also had really, really amazing people who have wanted to look after her and even let old boy come with us to go away. So walk around the campsite. People, you know, as sad as it is, they've lost their dog or something like that.
Couldn't bring them with them, and they just want some dog time.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. So I've said it so many times. The travel community is unreal. People don't want you to miss spots. People miss their fur babies, miss whatever's happened. Even people with other dogs might want to take in turns. You know, you look after their dog for one day, they'll look after your dog for the other day. There's so many pet sitters and there's apps and things like that. We've never tried them, so I can't 100% tell you that one, but we've heard good things from other people. But it's one of those things that everybody's different and everybody's
circumstance is different. Like, if you've just got a couple of weeks and you want to do national parks, you want to not miss out on any experiences, I probably wouldn't. But personally for us, we wouldn't have it any other way. There is no way we would not bring Luna.
The other thing is as well, you miss things.
Yep.
You just don't do it.
Or you're taking turns as well. So
many amazing... She's panting and her collar is tinging. There are so many amazing places around Australia that I don't mind missing a couple of national parks to spend it with her. Like, if we could find a beach that she gets to go to as well, or a hike, it's priceless. It does have its challenges. One thing to note, right, challenge that we didn't expect, not a lot of places have dog poo bags.
Oh,
and I don't mean just on the side of the road or provided by council.
No.
I mean, your local IGA potentially will not have them, or you're in remote locations that just don't have the stock yet.
We stocked up after a while because I don't know where we were. We were like down south Western Australia, I think, was when we first found the issue. And just supermarket after supermarket after supermarket, no one had dog poo bags. And we're like, oh no.
Yep.
I think we ended up buying nappy bags for like actual nappies. And we're just like, stock up on the dog poo bags.
We may do. It is what it is. It's a small thing, but it's something you just don't think about. You assume will be there everywhere. Yeah. It's
definitely, it's rewarding as well, travelling with your dog, seeing them so happy as well.
Yes, the other thing is, like, you do it and you appreciate your days as well, but you're also like, man, I just want to give you the best life. Like, you've got such short years that if I can also give you the best life ever with that joy that you give us, it's pretty cool as well. So
I think the biggest way we handle travelling with Luna is taking in turns.
Yep.
That's, one person goes, does it. Does that sound right? One person goes and does whatever we're doing, the other person waits, and then we swap over.
Yep.
That's the biggest way. If she can't go somewhere, is what we do. But.
Yep. The heat can be a challenge as well, and that can determine how you travel. When we were in the NT, pretty much every day we were guaranteed 33 degrees, 32 degrees. And she did struggle. Nothing where I was like, wow, we need to come up with a better solution. But because thankfully we've sort of come from those areas. We've had the 40-degree days and stuff. So we know that she's fine. But if you're coming from south and it's cold weather and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, you know, you yourself who's never been in a hot climate, plus your dog who's never been in a hot climate, can change things up. So think about that as well. The heat can get to them, and that's where we're fortunate in a caravan. We can turn on the Sirocco fans and stuff like that and cool her down and stuff. But just have that in the back of your mind as well. That is something to seriously think about that I think is overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
Because we've travelled and seen people travelling that and their dog's struggling. And just because they have long hair, I was very naive, but thankfully to family members having a long haired dog, you know, they can actually cool themselves down. Doesn't just mean that they will be hot, their long hair can help them. So don't be so quick to judge somebody who's doing that sort of thing. But yeah, something to definitely think about is the heat.
Yeah.
So if things look a little bit different, we're filming this on a GoPro and it overheated for the first time.
So it just shut off. So.
Whoops. But I hope that gives you some insight into what we're here for, what it's like travelling in Australia. Maybe, hopefully it's realistic. Hopefully we're not painting like a beautiful picture that everything's rosy, like it's still life, unfortunately. You definitely get kicked. But yeah, we wouldn't change it for the world. We love it. We appreciate everybody who watches our videos, follows along. It really, really does warm our heart. Yeah, I love it.
Wouldn't change it for the world. And if you have any other questions, leave them below in the comments, because we can, next time we do one, we can always come back and, we'll answer them in the comments too. We can always come back and answer them for everybody as well. So.
Yeah, hopefully we don't wait another 6 months. But gosh, time flies.
Oh, yeah.
So if you made it this far,
good on you.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
You're an absolute bloody legend. I hope you're putting a plan in place to get out there and chase your dreams. Maybe we'll see you on the tracks. How good would that be? We're very excited. We want to continue this journey. We hope that we're around for a long time. We hope we become, a trustworthy name within the industry. That's our goal now. We've decided this is definitely something we want to continue and do. So thank you, because without your support and you sticking around watching this or commenting, it doesn't happen. It really doesn't. So you watching us, it does mean the world really to us, because we don't get to do it without you. So thanks for coming along on the journey.
And we'll see you in the next one.